The United Way of SDNG continues to show its local love, this time in a global crisis. I'm joined now by Juliette Labossière. Welcome, Juliette.
Hi, thanks for having me.
All right, so first off, we know that COVID-19 is affecting everything in the community, and of course that includes the United Way office. So first, we'll update our viewers on the changes that United Way has made to deal with the crisis.
Yeah, so unfortunately, Gabe, we have had to shut down our actual office. If you go to our physical office on Water Street, you'll find those doors locked and the lights turned off. But we are working remotely. We are continuing to work collaboratively in the community. In fact, we have some really great projects that are coming up that I'd like to speak to you about today. It's just if you're looking for support with OESP or things like that you would normally come to our office for, if you're looking to donate, all of that has to be done online now.
All right, so how can people donate? Of course, we'll remind our viewers, but how can they access donations online?
So everything is filtered right through our own website. So directly going to United Way sdg.com, you'll find all the information. And what's really great, you can still donate to our regular platform, and that's the funding for our usual programs that we give out every year to our wonderful member agencies. But new is really that the United Way has hopped on board that national initiative, Local Love in a Global Crisis, to really take care of our community, take care of our most vulnerable in this very difficult time for everybody. And so you will find right on our landing page of our website information about that COVID initiative for us and the COVID Relief Fund. Basically, the United Way saw right away that there were amazing initiatives happening in the community, but we needed to sort of take a time out and bring everybody that's working on those initiatives together to make sure we're really communicating what's going on, we're getting the information back to the community, and we're funding the programs that are going to have the biggest impact for our most vulnerable population. And so the United Way reached out to Social Development Council of Cornwall and area, and together we have created a regional emergency response council that has representatives from the counties, from Cornwall, from Akwesasne, from all the different areas of work in our region. And together we're going to be working on communication, working on funding, working on fundraising COVID relief money that will stay right here in SDNG and work on things just for our community. So those are the two different funding options that are available. So you can still fund us for our regular programming, but we are stepping up right now and doing COVID relief funding, fundraising for Cornwall, SDNG, and Akwesasne.
And that has always been the hallmark of the United Way, is keeping donations local. So this COVID emergency fund, tell me a little bit more about how can people find more information to access those programming. I know it'll be rolled out over the next couple of days or weeks, but tell me more.
Yeah, so accessing that money, that will come. I'm sorry, I don't have information on that right now. Again, we've created this council with members from across the counties to really help us define how we can best give that money out and be efficient in giving that money out to make sure we're making a big impact as quickly as possible. What we need is money to be able to give out. So if people are looking to donate, again, straight on our landing page, unitedwaysdg.com, you'll find the links to donate, and we will continuously be keeping our website and our Facebook site up to date with what we're doing, how we're doing it, and how to access it, and how to give back to the community. It sounds really simple, but this is a very difficult time for all of us, and I acknowledge that. But I'm working from home, so all of a sudden I no longer need to fill my gas with car, and I no longer sneak out for a specialty coffee once a week. So I'm saving a little bit of money, and so we're asking people to look in on themselves, and those that are still working and maybe working from home and saving a little bit of money in this time, well, can you give a little bit of that? Maybe it's half your tank of gas worth of money, or that one cup of coffee a week. Just donate that back to our local COVID relief fund so that we can make sure we're helping our frontline workers, we're helping our volunteers, and we're helping organizations that are beyond our traditional member agencies. We're really collaborating with everybody right now to really make a difference in this time.
And when you do mention those traditional agencies, I just want to finish up because the need for them is not only still there, but perhaps magnified again by the crisis. I think of places like sexual assault support services with domestic violence being on the rise in this time. There's of course many others as well. Canadian Mental Health Association. Just talk to me about the importance still of supporting those agencies as well during this time, and of course after, when the need is going to explode.
Oh, absolutely. So this council is a twofold approach. And so we're definitely looking at short-term immediate goals and solutions that we can put in place to help with continuing offering those services, those services that are so essential before this crisis remain even more important now. How can we make those available? How do we create virtual networks for offering mental health? How do we support those agencies in getting what they need to be available for their clients, even if it is at that distance? So those are some of the investments that this fund might look into to working collaboratively with and making sure we're finding the solutions for them. But then post-COVID, post this crisis, the emergency situation isn't going to disappear immediately. I've spoken at large with many of the members of this committee about that idea that this crisis is more than likely going to propulse a certain portion of our population into situational poverty. Many of the people who were living poor in our community, that 26% of our population that was in a very vulnerable state, that perhaps weren't accessing services and were living really paycheck to paycheck, they are going to be the most vulnerable population as we move out of this crisis, because they will have fallen into situational poverty, and we will need to do everything we can to support them. But that means they will be relying on our classic agencies that we fund for more services than they've ever accessed before. So that's why there's that two funding streams that remain active. We are going to have to work collaboratively with those 16 agencies and increase our offer of services next year as we recover from this crisis. But right now we also have a crisis that we need to manage, and funds we need to get services in place for our most vulnerable. I'm talking about our seniors, our single people living at home, people with disabilities, families with young children. The need is growing every day, and we have to act quickly.
On that note, Juliette, I want to thank you not only for joining me, but for all the hard work that you and your team at the United Way are doing from home to ensure that the most vulnerable in our community are taken care of. And we look forward to more details about the COVID-19 Relief Fund, and best of luck.
Thank you.